everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to a dandy chat with Alexis Ned and Earl T. Kim. I'm Daisuke Tsuji. We're actors and a writer. And we're going to go into the chat directly. They're actually chatting already about Disneyland right now. But I'm just going to rudely interrupt. Let's get into it. Here we go. Hi. Where's it? We're in the thing now. Just to let you know. Yeah. We're live. Hello. Sorry. We didn't really have a We could start off by talking about oh wait. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. That's my fault. I know what I'm doing. Okay. Now we can talk.
Bro, he's a pro streamer, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we gotta start off with the technical difficulties. So they were talking about Star Wars because why did we start talking about it? Because
you went to Galaxy's Edge.
Because you went to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to hear more about your experience. What did you eat? The food there is really good.
Oh.
Well, that was the thing. Like a lot of the stuff, the restaurants were closed. The cantina was closed, so I was bummed about that.
Oh yeah.
But I had
it's
all
a very enclosed space.
Oh yeah. And
I could eat a million Ronto wraps though. I mean, it's also Portuguese sausage. Like, who doesn't love Portuguese sausage? Like, really? Yeah. You don't like linguiça? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Willa asks, which porg is your favorite porg? Is there
I do
one
have
with a name?
Porg.
Wait,
any porg that shows me attention.
Kinds? Different kinds of porgs?
I like the porg that's stomping on the lightsaber after Luke tosses it. The other guy kind of puts his face in there, and that porg was ready to kill.
That porg was a Sith porg.
Yeah,
that porg had been all dancing on the edge of light and dark for a while, and when it was shown the opportunity,
name is Stompy.
Took it.
Which reminds me, we do have a channel point redeem to ask questions. Like it's over 500 points. So if you want to ask Alexis any questions, so we should do an introduction actually, because I'm a terrible
Yes. Hello.
Hey
I'm Daisuke Tsuji. He's Earl T. Kim, and this is our guest Alexis Ned, the author of Don't Hate the Player. That's on there, and you're the senior entertainment reporter for Mashable. Yes. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes. Nailed it.
Nailed it. So we're going to talk a lot about entertainment in general and your book. We're just gonna chat. So if you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah. Is there a way that I should be seeing the questions? I shouldn't, because
you can check out the Twitch if you want to, but
get on the Twitch if you want to be in chat.
But I should be able to.
But I'll mute it so it's not like weird and echoey.
Also, for those of you that don't know, early on, very, very early on in our streaming careers,
how we met.
Alexis, most beautifully and wonderfully, because she enjoyed playing the game, wrote a beautiful article about how we started streaming and sort of the community that we ended up building and all of the ghosties and everything that sort of unfolded. And I feel like I'm nothing but grateful for that. Just sort of, I don't know, extra bit of love that we got, and I really appreciate it, Alexis.
Yeah,
so,
I think
thank you guys.
I can say that, I mean, for this community, you're one of the reasons why we kept going, I think, to have that kind of validation, you know?
Yeah.
Don't call me that.
Well, because I think it's that thing of like, you know, for the most part, it's just, we feel like we're screaming into the void, you know, especially in the internet where it's just like, hey, we're just a bunch of weirdos who do a thing or have done a thing that maybe you've heard of. Come watch us do other things. Like you can or you can't. But I don't know. I feel like it was just it was that bit of validation plus just, you know, understanding and just sort of your foresight and like, I don't know, the community that we've built and the, I don't know, just the good vibes that have come from all of, I don't know, this kind of weird pandemic risk / like, what are we doing? That, you know, sort of this like chance happening that became the DandE Saga. So
it was really, really easy to see early on. I was like, these guys could actually be really, really good at this. Because I mean, I was there for the Dice's first stream, like the first time. Yeah,
the very first one.
I was a day one watcher because I was just like a fan of the game and a big fan of your performance, and I was like, I wonder how he's gonna like react to seeing it actually happen. So I was like, okay, like at 7, thinking I was just like gonna peek in, and like 4 months later, I was tuning in every day, and I'm like, okay, if you got me, this has got to be a really, really good show.
I'm gonna share that article on the
Oh yeah,
chat.
go for it.
Oh yeah, do it. Share it in chat.
So yeah, you were able to play the game before I streamed, then, right?
Yes, because I reviewed Ghost of Tsushima for Mashable. I made sure that I reviewed and filed before I wrote anything else or came in here because it'd be a conflict of interest. But I was like, review is filed. Now I can go watch this.
Journalistic integrity.
Loved the game. Like it's probably a tie between this and Hades, which are two very, very different games.
Yeah,
and
that's such a great honor. I feel like I love that is because Hades is such a good game as well. Like I feel like if we're tiered among that, like I consider it way more of a compliment than someone comparing us to say Last of Us 2.
Yeah, no. We can't talk about her. We don't have to talk about her. But yeah, like as far as my personal, like as a person who writes about video games, game of the year, I was like, it's an absolute complete tie because they're both incredible games, incredible performances, incredible music, and I hyper focused immediately on it and became completely fixated until you guys became appointment TV and I was playing the game like 3 times over quarantine.
Oh man.
Just one more compliment because I did this on Twitter. I messaged you, but I was looking for a manager, and one of the casting director friend said like you should have, you know, what do you call like a write up? When you write up something about your
like clips,
performance clips, or to you know help, you know, promote yourself and find.
I'm more than just a random asshole on the internet.
Right. And I was like, I don't know if I have anything like that. Nobody's written about me. But then I was like, wait, Alexis
no, we do.
We do.
We do.
And I'm gonna share that with you in the chat because it was one of the nicest things anybody have ever said about my performance. So yeah.
Oh.
So now I have a manager. So thank you for that. Yeah.
You got Dyson manager.
Welcome, and I'm going to cry. And I would have written about Earl too, but Sucker Punch sent a very strict guideline that we could not say anything that happened after Act 1.
Yeah.
We couldn't even mention characters that showed up after Act 1. So I was like,
okay.
Secret.
Oh,
mystery.
Yeah. Secret monk.
A mystery monk. We gotta be mystery monk. You can't, we can't. Sucker Punch can give it all away at the beginning because now everyone's like, oh, that guy. Oh, that guy.
Y'all had twists. Y'all had turns. That game went places.
It's true.
All of a sudden, there was lesbians. It was amazing. Like,
we went dark places.
Yeah,
it's oh yeah.
Some messed up places. Pour one out for Enjo, a real one.
Oh, pour one out for Enjo. Oh, pour one out for my brother. God. Rip.
One thing I had, I'm curious about your job as the senior entertainment reporter. There's so much entertainment right now. How do you have like a schedule to like, okay, I'm gonna watch this, play games, this? You do? How does
we do.
Do it well?
We have the Cal at Mashal, which is just like a Google Calendar. And at the beginning of every month, we have a meeting, and we basically have a rundown of everything coming out that month.
Like
TV
literally
shows,
everything.
Stuff, video games, and usually someone like narrows it down a bit before, so it's not massive. And we just we sit there in a Google Meet, quite like this one, and just hash it out. Like, I want this one, I'm doing this one, and
for this one.
Now. And then usually it's like we get screeners for some things just kind of automatically. Like we get special Netflix, which is very cool. I have a separate column. A row in my Netflix that's just preview content. So all the stuff that's coming out, I can just watch on Netflix, like on my TV normally.
Dang, you heard it here first, folks. Journos, they get that
Journos get
special
secret
Netflix.
I don't know why I wouldn't be able to tell you that, but yeah.
I know. You heard it here first, y'all. Dang.
Secret.
Secret Netflix. Is Netflix the only one that only streamer that gives you a
The rest is there's a separate app called the Screeners app. There's actually two different apps, both called Screeners, and it gets very confusing.
That seems
You're like,
not.
is it called the Screeners app or the Screeners app?
Is that legal?
Nobody knows. And you usually have to like email a publicist and be like, hey, I'm writing about this. Can you just load them up on my Screeners app? Either one or the other, whichever one you're using, because we don't know.
Screeners A,
and you just have to watch sometimes the whole show, sometimes 4 episodes in advance. But yeah, there's a lot of my job is just watching TV shows. Mm-hmm. Like a month to 2 weeks before anyone else does, and then not being able to talk about it. Not being able to talk about it
has got to be really interesting because, I feel like, so much of the joyful television experience can be, just being like, oh my God, what do you think is happening? Or just, hashing out theories and plan, or even, so one aspect is very clearly of the I will consume and binge all of this by myself, and that probably is, more than addressed. But then the whole I just want to talk shit about this.
Yeah, I'm really into the social part of entertainment, talking about it, fan theories. I love that stuff. So I sometimes prefer it when I just get 1 or 2 episodes in advance. Disney's insane. They will give you a screener for a Disney Plus show. You will get it 48 hours before the show comes out. It will disappear 12 hours before the show premieres. So you have a 36-hour window to watch the screener, and it's usually just 1 or 2 episodes.
Wow.
And you have to watch it because it will shut off mid-watch if you hit that.
It won't finish it. It won't finish it if you start. Totally wow.
Yeah, so I got my Loki screener earlier, and it was literally from Monday night to Tuesday morning, and we all had to watch Loki 4 times to get everything in.
Wow, that's intense. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense though because of how protective they have to be around
especially Disney
because literally everyone's trying for it. And also what did you think about Loki?
Wait, I haven't seen it yet.
I liked the idea. I don't know, I didn't like the first episode. I really didn't.
I feel like I enjoy Tom and I enjoy Owen. I enjoy Tom and I enjoy Owen. But it's sort of that thing where I'm still I don't know how all of this works yet. Yeah. But that's my personal thing after just seeing 1 episode. So we'll have to. Whereas I feel like with WandaVision, I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm here. Okay.
Yeah. It really
whereas this one, I'm still a little
Yeah. The thing that got me is that it felt like it was not very tight and snappy. There was so much long pauses between lines and contemplative looks. And I'm like, guys, it's a Loki show. He's the chaotic god of mischief, and you're sitting there having a therapy session with him for 25 minutes.
I thought it would be a little more banter. I thought, and there's a little.
I wanted more banter. I see retrospective.
But yes, I just thought it would be a bit snappier.
Yeah, snappier. I want it to be snappier. The one guy that did nail it though is Eugene Cordero.
Yes, is
amazing Filipino actor. He played Casey, the desk guy, and he had the best line in the episode, which was "What's a fish?"
What's a fish? It's so good.
And he was so funny. His energy was so high and so snappy. I was like, everyone needs to match Eugene Cordero right now.
Well, it's also that thing where he knows what shows he knows what show he's in. You know what I mean?
He did the homework.
Yeah.
He understood the assignment.
Understood the assignment for sure.
Oh, but sorry, Dice. You haven't seen it yet? I just learned that from retrospective. Well, Dice, you never see anything. I've been recommending stuff for you for a calendar year, and you never listen to me.
I mean, that's why I ask about the scheduling thing, because do you ever get tired of being entertained? Do you just want to be
constantly.
I want to be bored?
Especially I've been talking about this a lot recently with my friends and family, because I think especially over the past year, a lot of people have, if you're very lucky, you kept your job and you can work from home, or if you were an essential worker, and to get away from everything that was going around, at the end of the day, you kick back and watch TV or you play a video game. Absolutely. And that's how you detach and unwind from all of it. You can escape. my job was watching TV and playing video games. So at the end of the day, how do I unwind?
Right. How
And
did you?
it got really, really exhausting after a while, where I'm like, I don't, in the confines of my tiny apartment, like, what can I actually do that's doesn't feel like work? And I know that's really whiny. It's very whiny, where it's like, oh no, your job is to play video games. But like after a year where if there's almost nothing else, it does get a little.
Absolutely. And it's very valid in the fact that, for other people, it is downtime and it is fun time activities and it is, leisure. But the very real aspect of it is that it is work for you. Like it is work that you do. I think that is another thing that sometimes people forget in the like, oh, you're just playing games, or like I heard, like, oh, you're just writing about games, or you're just writing about TV, or you're just writing about this. Like it's that thing of like, yes, and it's enjoyable, and I do it because I love it, and I do, it's like you enjoy it, but it's also it is actual work. And sometimes it is
work. There's a lot of misconceptions about, like, especially game writing, where people just think like, oh, we get the games months in advance, we get to have plenty of free time to explore it at our leisure. It's like, no, if you are extremely lucky, you get an entire AAA game a week before it comes out, and you have to finish that game. Like I beat Ghost of Tsushima in 4.5 days.
Damn.
I had like maybe 4 meals.
Damn.
Wow.
I had to play it again.
That's legit.
I'm like, I have to enjoy that game now, because the first time I did it, I was speed running.
Yeah, that's legit. I mean, and that's the thing where I feel like, a couple weeks ago, there's the whole thing on Twitter where, not to speak ill of people who are in my profession, but a certain voice actor made a lot of claims and statements about games journalists not playing games or understanding the game that he happened to be in, that turned out kind of to be not good because it's kind of boring and it's not actually good, and it's a little
now I'm gonna
and it's got one really kind of interesting mechanic where it's a lot of things coming at you and you kind of have to deal with it, but it's like, oh wow, great. And it's like, oh no, you didn't understand the thing. It's like, nah buddy, your thing wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of pointed it out, and then you got really shitty about it.
Weird about it, but yeah, it's like, whenever for the commenters here, whenever you read a game review, it's a lot of work. And just to recall, the person who wrote that review has played that game for a week, done almost nothing else, is usually like malnourished and dehydrated, because they got a week to put 82 hours into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then they had to write 2,000 words at the end of that marathon.
Yeah, I mean, and then and then I will say that there are certain reviews that I have read, however, where certain people will make outlandish statements about characters or certain portrayals without having done their homework and questioning authenticity.
No. Yes, you still have to be good at your job. Like even in the stress, like you do actually still have to be good at your job and like pay attention to things and not get core important things right or wrong with the game.
Yeah. So there's also that, but yeah, I feel like it's just that thing where I don't know. I just remembered reading that aforementioned article or interview about someone getting really up in arms about games journalism and just being like, sir, I don't think you understand how it works. I think you just have an opinion because people maybe didn't like the thing that you made. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Forever Fire SNSD.
Yes.
Respect to you as well.
Oh man. All right. Can we talk about the book? Are we allowed to talk about?
Let's talk.
Can we
talk about the book?
So it's coming out officially in 3 days, right?
3 days. That's
15th?
Right.
Yeah.
The 15th,
I didn't think about it that way.
days.
Yeah. Tuesday.
That's 3 days. Yeah. Tuesday. Is that okay? Question about book releases. This is just a Earl question. So is there a day that books are released? Like, is there, how like movies will usually really, is there like a book releases happen on this day, or is it just like all kind of willy-nilly? It's actually Tuesdays.
Tuesdays are book release day. And the thing is, it's a pattern you never notice until you know about it. And then when everyone's like, my book is out today, it is always a Tuesday.
A Tuesday.
Yes.
Wait, is that like some
Don't
old like
lie.
publishing mafia thing? I feel like it's like Tuesday is the day we release. Like
Yeah,
this is
on
the
Tuesdays,
publishing
really sucks.
the publishing gods have decided that Tuesday is our day.
I'm sure there's a reason for it, but yeah, it's always Tuesdays.
Wow.
And that's been, although I've had friends, I had a friend go to Barnes & Noble in Union Square and sent me a picture of him with my book. And I'm like, where did you get that, buddy? And he's like, it's literally on the shelves right now. And I'm like, what? What are you doing here?
Okay,
I
everyone,
think
if you're
because the original release date was June 1st.
Yeah.
And it got pushed because of a printing error. So I think that some bookstores just thought that the book was late. So when they got it, they immediately put it on the shelves.
Oh.
Right.
And they didn't get to know that it was actually pushed and was meant to be out. But yeah, I've had my aunt in Florida has a copy, and I was like, please don't post a picture of that on Facebook, Titi. You're gonna confuse everybody.
Oh no.
And then my friend Jason in New York went to 14th Street to like my favorite Barnes & Noble. If
Oh
people have a favorite
no.
Barnes & Noble. And he's like, I could buy this now, right? I'm like,
No, please don't buy that one.
If it's for sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so okay. Now I'm hearing that there's a limited edition misprint version out somewhere.
No, not that kind of printing error.
Okay.
There was a really big backlog, and someone's book got printed before mine did. And I was supposed to be first in line, and somebody else got theirs printed.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's this like one.
Yeah,
box
there's no
that
like
has,
typo version.
Dang it. Like, guys, go to Union Square, go find it right now, save it, hold on to it.
Might be worth something someday. I hope.
Exactly.
But no, it does not exist. It is the version I see in front of me. I keep looking over at it. It feels very weird to look at it.
Yeah. Question. So cover design.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? I'm just curious about like, because sometimes authors do you have a lot of control over what goes on, or like is it like publisher only? Is there a conversation? How does that work?
A lot of it, I was kind of like Jesus take the wheel on a lot of this because it is my debut novel. And I'm like, anything you guys can handle without me having to think about anything that's not writing the book, I'll be very happy if you did that. Thank
Awesome.
you. But there's for this cover, which I'll show you guys again what we got here. There's a very big trend for drawings and putting like little characters on the cover. I got like a general version of this that I totally hated. And I was like, nope, send it back. I will flex my one moment of author power.
Yes.
I didn't hate it. If Liz Casal, who is the illustrator for the cover, if she ever hears this, I will feel terrible if she thinks that I actually hated it. It was just factually incorrect. It was just wrong.
It wasn't a relationship.
It had arcade stuff. And I'm like, oh, not that kind of game.
Right. Yeah.
Like they didn't give her the note of what kind of game it was. So
there was a slight miscommunication.
Yeah, I'm like, these are 16-year-olds in 2019. They're not
in the 80s at the arcade.
And then this version went through a couple of different iterations, and it landed on something that I just absolutely love because I get to see my little characters in there. This is Emilia. This is Jake. And there's like a little progression of, like 1, 2, 3, 4, their story as it goes on. It'll make sense when you read the book. But yeah, it is. I did get input, but they picked the person who drew it, who did an amazing job. Liz Casal, you were amazing. And I just had like feedback.
That's cool. That's really great. That's I'm always so curious just about that like process and sort of, because I feel like there's some authors that are like, there need to be 2 mountains, a dragon, and then it's like I need very specific imagery for the words that I've created, or else. And it's like, okay, man, all right.
Yeah, I was like, whatever you guys think is cool, and they're like, this is what we think is cool, and I'm like, oh wait, no, that's actually wrong.
Yes, yeah. Hold on.
Not that cool. Actually, it turns out I do have opinions.
But see, and that's also that thing of like, oh, I needed you to do this for me to realize that that's not what.
Yeah, that's not it. Great job, but technically not it.
Is writing a novel on your bucket list, or was it one of your dreams? Do you have more on your
I
bucket
always
list?
wanted to,
Mhm.
like, but I didn't have a idea of how it was going to happen.
Mm.
But I mean, you know, if you're a writer, specifically in New York, like your kind of goal is like if you're in journalism or in media and you're in New York, like you hope to one day write a book, sometimes fiction, sometimes nonfiction. But I was always kind of a righty kid. Like even when I was in kindergarten writing like, you know, one paragraph stories tracing letters. And then I persisted in being good at literally nothing else for the rest of my life. So I didn't really have that much of a choice in what I was going to do with, you know, my time as an adult. And, you know, writing a novel is like, it's permanent. It's proof that I am a writer and that I exist, and it's in the Library of Congress. So haha, like it feels really, really good. It's like asserting my dignity in small ways. Oh no, I'm thinking that In the Heights now. But yeah.
Yay! Oh, In the Heights. So good.
Yeah.
Everyone should go watch it.
Everyone go see In the Heights.
Everyone watch In the
must
Heights.
I again have
Nice
not
watching
seen
the
it.
Heights.
Watch In the Heights. We're just gonna keep saying.
I will.
It's like, I bet you he has still not watched Black is King. It's an old school ghosty joke. Trying to get Dice to watch Black is King.
I started watching it.
Black is King.
I was gonna ask, does it make me racist if I didn't quite get it?
No,
I kind of.
It's not really for you. To be fair.
Yeah,
it's not really for us, but we can appreciate it.
Yeah. Also, I guess I was expecting more of like a movie rather than it was more like
more of a
musical
experience.
Yeah, okay. I should watch.
It's more akin to performance art, really.
Yes, true.
I did
Can I ask you guys a question?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, since we're almost coming up on the year anniversary of the first ghosty adjacent stream, because Dice, you did your first stream was the day of release or the weekend after?
Yeah, something like that.
And Earl has streamed that week too, because I remember crying when Earl was crying when he first saw Norio. And it's almost been a year where you guys have just been at this because of this wonderful, wonderful game that you were in, and it's opened up this entirely different performance chapter of your lives and like meeting so many new people. After a year, what have you gotten out of this? Like, what have you learned? What's changed for you? It's a big question.
Oh dang. Yeah, that is a big question.
That is a big question. Well, I mean, we had. Wait, I need to do that too. I don't have a bottle.
I was just
wait. Can we?
Time.
Oh, I'm late again. Dang it. Whatever. I'll try and do it again. Synchronize.
I'm just holding.
We
got it. It'll line up.
You can't get this at the same time.
I mean, it's my fault. I mean, it's been a weird year for all of us. So it was, you know, there's that as well on top of everything else. I don't know. Well, the community itself, I think is great. There was some ups and downs, obviously, and it was like a crash course of what fandom is like for me. So both pros and cons of that.
Yeah, I think
everybody here is cool. Everybody here is cool.
Yeah, you guys are great.
Y'all are cool. Y'all are here. A+.
But you know, there's every once in a while there's a troll, and it's just you know, that happens.
It happens. But, I mean, you know, trolls are trolls.
Yeah.
That's what we got. That's what we got bridges for.
Yeah.
Ghetto trolls. You stay down there, troll.
Yeah. And I think being an actor, at least for me, is just a series of managing your mental health and, you know, the psyche, and I feel like being a star of this one thing is I don't know. I'm sort of like, I put more on myself right now, and I need to like not worry too much about that. I'm just
Oh,
being honest.
something to learn for next year.
Yeah.
Keep working on it.
No, yeah, I think that's another. Yeah, I think it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, you can say that it's like, yes, it's, the community is motivating me. There's that, but also there's like, oh, I'm not doing enough because I'm not famous enough for my community to keep following me. But it's like, none of this should matter.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
But
we definitely are like, oh God, what are we even doing? Like, and then occasionally it's just like, oh yeah, did you hear that one? There's that one YouTube streamer or that one streamer who just streams an intersection, and they've got like 300,000 followers.
Wow.
Because they film they have a stop sign apparently in Boston, in the suburbs of Boston, that most people, like 97% of people do not stop at.
Oh my God.
So it's just a guy who set up a camera, and people watch the intersection, and people can like vote on whether or not the person's going to stop or not. It's brilliant. But I know, but it's that thing of like, we're never going to be stop sign streamed, so what are we even doing?
I mean, it's been really cool for me to like pop in and out, and I was like, I think I'll just go check in on the boys tonight, see how it's going. Because I mean, I watched very, very regularly in the beginning, and then I had to write a book, so I was like, please, you gotta go. And
understandable.
I feel like every time I kind of like surfaced and been like, wonder how they're doing. It was just better and better and better every time. And now you guys, like, it's so high quality. I'm somehow proud. I've never met you, and I'm proud. It's wonderful.
Oh, thanks, Alexis.
Yeah.
Thanks. I know, it's like we've got setups now. Like, I used to remember I was doing this in my living room.
Yeah, and your power would go out in the middle of screens, and there'd be people walking around behind you.
Yep.
And we all had questions about Jesus Garfield.
Yes. Oh, Jesus Garfield. Garfield Jesus is alive and well.
Remember, Dice used to be this big in his streams, just the tiniest
boy. Right in the corner.
The tiny Dice. Tiniest little Dice.
Tiniest, smallest Dice. And now look at you. High quality, counting those beautiful pores. You can see everything.
I know. Get all up in this. Get in this. Yeah. Take it all in.
You're fine, Dice.
I know. Dice is. It's very interesting how our immediate different reactions are like, yes, shower me with compliments, and Dice
is like, oh no.
Please. Oh. Like, yes.
It does, guys. Just
work it. You look great.
Thanks.
Oh, good man. Times. A whole year. Goodness.
Yeah.
Hold on. We have. Do we have questions?
We do have some questions. We could go back and forth with the questions. Thank you for the questions. Retrospective. Do you have any advice for someone seeking to enter an entertainment reporting career without any journalistic experience?
Ooh. Do I? Well, it's a shrinking field, especially these days, because a lot of people and production companies just will like release stuff on their own. So a lot of the information that you would like expect the media person to report on is now like on just a website that everyone can see. So it is harder than you think to break into. I think if it's something that you really do want to do, you have to build up kind of your own repertoire of clips, have kind of a blog, Twitter account. Wow, I recommend someone have a blog in 2021. I'm old, but there's like somewhere where your writing can live very, very obviously, and they know that it's you. Contact information. These are what your takes are like. This is what your reporting is like, and then just pitch all over the place. If you have a take on the new Bo Burnham special that nobody's done, then you got to track down who's the editor of this publication that takes freelance stuff, and you just pitch and pitch and pitch and pitch and pitch. And then from the freelancing, sometimes you can get onto a staff writer job. A staff is especially difficult because people don't like to pay people money to do what I do that much anymore. Oh, it's not full time, not with healthcare.
Yeah.
What was your journey like?
My journey was interesting. I did go to journalism school. I dropped out almost immediately because I really hated it. Why? It was very focused on like hard news, hard journalism, like boots on the ground, gumshoe stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to be on a couch and like talk about my opinions. Like, where's that? That was cool for that. I was massively out of place. I was having like legit panic attacks, being like, I have to report on people, I have to talk to people, I have to call people on the phone, unprompted. Hell no. So I dropped out. My parents were thrilled. And then I ended up working for BuzzFeed. I got an interview there and for an intern program, fellow program. And that was like a 6-month boot camp that they put us through. And at the end, they're like, here, you know, 6 of you stand before me, 2 of you will be hired. Very America's Next Top Model. Like Earl
America's Next Top Model.
And we were writing, you know, BuzzFeed articles every day, making quizzes, doing all that. And at the end of the day, I ended up getting hired. And then from there, I mean, back then in BuzzFeed, it was like, oh, you got hired. You can just do whatever you want now. Like just write about stuff.
Make content, please.
Yeah, just content. Make content. And I did that for like 2 years. I did quizzes, mostly quizzes towards the end of it. And then it really is, it's a ping-ponging thing. Like, I don't want to describe my entire career, but it really is like, if an opportunity comes, you grab onto it and write it as far as you possibly can, and then you free fall off. Then you grab another one, and I'll take you a little farther this way. And it's never a straight line. It's never exponential. It's very, very zigzaggy. Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of when you are at that site, save all your URLs for what you post, and preferably get them in PDF form, because if a website goes under, which happens very often, or they have to have search, you will not be able to see all the stuff that you've done. And you need your own clips. Like I had friends work for a really nice website that just like got their founder just pulled out, and all of the work that they did is no longer on the internet. So they cannot prove that anything that they wrote even existed.
Oh, well, I mean, we got the Wayback Machine, so.
Yeah. Some of them,
but still, oh man, that makes it so much harder, and that's awful. Like,
we're just powerless, because we're like, oh, okay, that was 3 years of my life, and I can't get hired at the next place that I want to get hired at. Because
why is there this weird 3-year gap?
Yeah, 3-year gap.
No, it's all gone.
Full-time employed, and you just can't tell.
Oh wow. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, so that was a very roundabout way to say that it's very difficult. It usually goes from freelancing to staff writing, but I wish I had more advice, because I had a really, really weird path in. Yeah. That involved making a lot of quizzes and
BuzzFeed.
Being a little content baby. It was in my early 20s. It was like, how if you get like a bunch of hungover 23-year-olds in a room. And
what are we doing?
That's how we get BuzzFeed.
That's BuzzFeed.
Oh, now I get it.
23-year-olds all in a room with a bunch of typewriters. Laptops.
Yeah. MacBooks.
That's not mine.
We have another question from Ever Zephyr. Can you talk a bit about pacing a story? Like, how to make a story novel length? It seems tricky to decide what parts to go into detail with and which parts would slow it down. Oh, that's very specific.
Ooh, that's a very good question.
Are you writing a novel?
Yeah, Ever Zephyr, are you writing a novel?
Writing a novel. It is no small feat, and if you are, even trying is frankly Herculean. So good on you if you are. If you ask 10 writers this question, you will get 10 different answers. Because everyone has a different process, everyone has a different way of doing it. I didn't even know that I had a process, because I was making it up as I went along, like completely. For me, I usually do an outline of what the most important story beats are going to be, and I start from like very basic, like boy meets girl, girl goes to tournament, sees boy at tournament, and just sort of like doing that, and then I get more and more detailed in between those pieces. We're like, okay, so boy meets girl, but before she gets there, she has to go to school. Okay, so now she's in school, and then from there, okay, she goes to this class, and it gets kind of like smaller and smaller, like a bracket. It kind of gets smaller and smaller, and then you end up with a lot of stuff and a lot of writing, usually overwriting. And then once you've gotten everything out for the first time, which is usually just like bleh, like it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. that's when your editor comes in and tells you, you have written way too much. Some of these scenes don't make any sense. They don't have to be here. Kill your darlings. Let's cut out 10,000 words. And you get there, you do. But as far as like actually doing the pacing intentionally, I let the outline do that, where I'm like, I know I have to get between these points. And if it drags in the middle, if it, you know, gets longer in some places, you deal with it after you've written it the first time. Do not worry about pacing the first time. Do not worry about, is this long, is this slow? Just get it done. Perfect is the enemy of good. Perfect is the enemy of done. As two very important things that I learned when I was doing.
That is such good. Yeah, right. I need to
Perfect
let's
is
brand it
enemy
on ourselves. Perfect is
enemy of
I did cry, Lucario essay. When they
Done.
said to cut out 10,000 words, I did cry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Perfect is the enemy of good. Dang.
And done. More importantly, done.
Right.
Yeah.
Enemy of done. Because yeah, you
Perfect
gotta
is
get
the
it done.
enemy of done.
Yeah, you will never get anything done if you need every chapter to be perfect before you move on to the next chapter.
Yeah, and that's the fear, right? Like for a lot of people, they just don't. Sometimes they don't even start.
It'll
because
never
they're-
finish. Yeah, it just never ends up getting to that finishing point because
They're worried about a bad sentence in chapter 1.
It has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it out.
And it's interesting because I feel like, Alexis, the way you talk about building a story is very similar to like how I think about theater, like how, you know, just sort of you make a skeleton. You create the points at which the absolute necessary points of storytelling that are required, and then you then find the sinew, you find the liquid, you find the points where it connects, you find these things where you build on top of it, and then it keeps, as you keep narrowing down, all you're doing is just
you
building
get
the body.
more and more detailed and finer and finer until you end up like, this is why a character scratches his nose here, because I know why. But like, it's that's
really
a much cooler way to say it than a tournament bracket. I'm going to start saying skeleton in interviews. It's a skeleton.
There you go. You can have that.
Speaking of theater, do you write about theater as well, or no?
I don't usually, mainly because my my boss at Mashable is also a very big theater person. If anyone comes in and is like, "Oh, we want somebody to write about a show," she's like, "Thank you."
I mean, why not? Like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the last like theater thing I wrote about, I didn't even review it, was Darren Brown's stage show when he was here in 2019. But yeah, I don't usually write that much about theater, just because my boss takes all the assignments. I hope she doesn't watch this. She does. I mean, also, it's actually been a problem in the last year. It hasn't really come up much. Because theater didn't exist for a hot second there in New York on Broadway.
Theater existed in Zoom calls.
Virtually. Where the tickets didn't matter. I can see it too, Erin.
My friend was wondering about this actually. Do you think after, this hiatus for theater, do you think the critics would be more forgiving because they've missed it, or would they be more critical because it's like if
what are your thoughts about the future of theater, Alexis?
About the future of theater criticism. I mean, I think that the kind of people who are specifically theater critics, I will only speak for New York because I know more New York theater critics than otherwise. They're the kind of people who are not the type to let circumstance interrupt how they evaluate performance in theater to begin with.
Right.
Where it's like they could have seen it 2 years ago, they could have seen it the first performance after. I'm sure that like that first week's gonna whip. Like everyone is going to love whatever they see in that first week. So I guess that does answer your question. I think just like if a show comes out, they'll be like, but the joy of being back in the theater, like every paragraph will start with like, just happy to be here, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Right.
And that'll like 7 days countdown. After that, it's like, all right, back to work.
Yeah.
And they're going to be, critical and sometimes correct, sometimes not, all different kinds of critics. But yeah, I think there'll be like a week, and that's the honeymoon. That's all we're doing.
I mean, it makes sense. I feel like it is that thing of like, we're very aware that you haven't had this thing for the last like 18 plus months. So, here.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a question about that I think in the reaction to it's an interesting combo because it's was theater and now is a movie. And for a lot of people, it's going to be their first time back in a movie theater for a very, very, very long time. And I'm not sure if that is coloring their perception and people's reactions to it. It's also actually tremendous, but I think a lot of it is like, we are so happy to be here right now.
Yeah, I do think that one of the things that I've been loving is like, you know, all the clips of either Lynn showing up at theaters or like just random people watching the movie and being like, my entire theater everyone is freaking out right now because of this movie, you know. And it's like just like the opening number and people are like standing up and throwing things, just like freaking out. It's like, oh
yeah, a lot of that is pent up. It's also like very specific because it's that the opening number they have. I don't want to spoil it in the Heights for you guys, but like it's about like,
so
waking up, going outside, seeing your neighbors and your
being
friends.
amongst it, being
being amongst the community and people. And like I had a friend over to watch it last night just on HBO Max, and by minute 4 he was crying, and I understood why. Like because it's a movie that says like you can go out again. It's time. Like we can do it.
Yeah,
we can actually do it. Isn't that amazing?
It is
and my
such
friend
an
was in
interesting
tears,
thing.
watching people go down the stairs and say hi to their bodega lady.
Neighbors. Like
yeah,
we need it. We need it.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah, maybe I'll go see it at the theater.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I've been considering like actually going into a theater for recently, where I'm just like, everything else I don't really care, it's fine, whatever. But I'm like, I might be worth it. I might need it. I might just need the people.
I very much enjoyed seeing it in a theater as my experience, but it was very, very distanced, all of that. But
were people singing along?
I mean,
no. Well,
that would.
There's one number that is kind of almost meant to be sung along with, and it's at a very poignant moment in the show, and because everyone in my screening was from the Heights. Like I was at a community screening.
No. That's lovely.
It was a Miranda family and community screening where a bunch of people who were in the movie, the extras that he had, like his barber, all these people were all there. So it was kind of like it was okay to sing because it wasn't like you're disturbing someone else's experience. Like we're all here for the same thing, you guys. We're here to cry. We're here to be there for our dude. And when the song comes, like we all sang behind our masks a little bit.
That's beautiful. My heart.
I have one more question. How much of yourself did you put in your book? I know there's always a big part of the author, but in what ways?
I like this question. I'm starting to do like some just like written interviews, like with email from people, and I like getting this one because it's hard to describe without anyone having read the book. But basically, there are two characters. It's a guy. There's a girl. It's YA romance. You can kind of imagine how that goes. But the girl is very, very type A, high achieving, super academic, like Miss Perfect, jock boyfriend, field hockey player, and she's Puerto Rican, and her parents are just like pushing her to be the most excellent person ever. And she's super stressed out, and she releases steam by being a gamer at night, and her parents don't even know that she has a video game ever. And she's a very, very good gamer, and she's kind of like a secret presence in the server where it's like she's like this legendary top tier person, and no one knows that it's Miss Perfect at school. The other character is Jake, who is a more open gamer because he's just like a fun, nerdy white guy. And he has had a crush on that girl in school for like years. And he plays the same game she does. And he's got a lot of anxiety. He's the first character that I've written who, like me, has ADHD. So there's a lot of internal critique, a lot of the more like emotional behavioral aspects of having an executive functioning disorder are a part of his personality and his character. And it's on like the back of the book, with spoiler alert, he finds out that this legendary player in a tournament that he's going to play in is the girl he's liked for years. And he's the only one who connects. He's like, wait, that secret player, the like legendary player, I know her name. I know who she is. Her. And she sees him and she's like, oh my God, that guy can know everything. She's like, this is the one guy who knows both of my lives.
Wow.
And then it's off to the races with them. So having set that up as the characters, like the Amelia parts are like definitely having one Puerto Rican parent and just very, very strong emphasis on academics and being overscheduled and being kind of like almost driven to be this kind of snarky, callous person because you have like no room for empathy in your brain because you're just being pushed to be the best person you could possibly be according to your parents' standards.
Sounds very familiar. Wow.
Very familiar, I can imagine.
What about that?
Yeah, that part is definitely something that I put into Amelia. She's much better at handling it than I was because I would just like routinely collapse. Like I was very, very high achieved. Like I did what they wanted. Like I got there. But she's better at handling it than I am. And then the other part is the Jake is I gave Jake a lot of what made it hard for me to be that person, and which I didn't know back then that I had ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was 27, and I started writing about 2 months after my first diagnosis, and I was processing a lot of what I didn't understand about myself before, because I don't know, there's lots of resources about ADHD, but when it's untreated and you don't know why you can't do certain things for like years, you just beat yourself up. Like I just grew up thinking that I was worse at life than everyone else because no one told me it's actually harder for you. Like the reason you're having a hard time is because it is harder, not because you're worse than everyone else. Right. And just like and going back and looking at myself in high school, I had so much insecurity. I was beating myself up. I was very like emotionally empathetic because I felt like I had to be, where I was like, if I am useful and good to people, then they'll be accommodating of how shitty I am. And a lot of like my healing process for like discovering how my undiagnosed condition affected my growing up, that is, I'm so sorry to Jake, but Jake got all of that. And I loved writing him. I loved writing him so much because it felt like really healing, because I got to write the bad things that I thought and then tell the character, but it's actually okay and it's not your fault. And no one ever told me that. And Jake knows that he has ADHD. He's diagnosed, so he knows. But it's still difficult. But being able to write a character, even though he's not like me, he's a straight white teenager, a 16-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy. But just able to write a character who has that and who feels about himself the way I did, and to give him a happy ending, and to give him something that makes him feel confident and proud about himself. That's like somehow he's a little heart emoji to myself in the past. That was a very long way of answering that question, but
no, that's beautiful. And I think that's such an awesome thing of like, there are these, everything has these seeds that essentially come from you and your experience, but it's sort of that your ability to now, as a no longer 16-year-old person, can be like, okay, let's show myself a bit of the care that I couldn't show myf when I was going through that. Everything
really matters. I didn't realize quite how much everything mattered so much, but until I started writing this, and I was like, everything that I've experienced, even if I don't use it, it's informing how I'm writing this book. And even the stuff that I hated, like super hated, I'm like, crap, that was important, wasn't it? Damn it. Like, which you can only ever see in hindsight. And maybe only when you're writing a book. But it's really, it helps now, like when stuff sucks. Even now I'm like, well, two at some point, suck it up, buttercup.
Oh man, that's so great.
So
well, I'm excited. I'm excited about this book.
Yes, I'm very excited. I have my pre-order. Thank you for the question, Sangrin.
We got my question.
Yes, thank you. That was a very good question. Thank you, and I love answering that question.
Great
answer.
I can ask the question that you asked us. So, Alexis, has there was an interview very early on in the DandE Saga, and but we were playing Fog. Wow, that's fun. I don't know. It's a funny story. I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's just saying we weren't. I mean, because I wasn't really prepared. We were playing Fall Guys with Marnelli, and we kind of vaguely said it was gonna be an interview, but we didn't really.
We didn't really
Wait.
do anything.
Well,
We
then
were
also,
trying to desperately not die in Fall Guys.
yeah, and before that, you interviewed us. That's right. You
Mhm.
interviewed us first, and then that among the Fall Guys stream was supposed to be our interview
Yeah.
with you.
Didn't really happen.
Yeah. Okay, well, it was the game was distracting. This is
For
much
sure.
nicer. Like we couldn't have this conversation when we're playing
Yes.
Fall Guys, and we're anyway. One of the questions that you asked for our interview when you interviewed us was what is the one question that you wish the interviewers ask you, but they don't usually.
They never
So
do.
They never do. And what is the answer to
you
that question?
remembered.
Of course.
Bless
yeah.
you.
That's a good
Mhm.
question.
It is a good question. That's such a good
This
question.
guy is a real, I mean, you all know he's just a sweet pea, but look at him. He's also very clever. I see what you did there. The one question, I mean, I've only had a couple interviews. This is probably my like third, like only of actually talking to somebody.
Yes,
Oh.
we're getting in early. Getting in on the
Is he
ground
happening
floor.
right back? Honestly, what people have not asked me about yet, and I really wish they would, is about the ADHD thing.
Yeah.
So I've kind of I already snuck that in there on purpose, but I think it's important to have a neuroatypical romantic lead, and to
Yeah.
have, you know, usually the guy in the YA romance is like the swaggy one who sweeps you off your feet, and he's
Mhm.
like supposed to be the ideal boyfriend. And I did not want to write any of that, because that never seemed like very fun to me. Where it's like, oh, so he just comes in and it's fine. Yeah, questions about like, so why is Jake such a little baby? Like, why is he like this? It's like, yeah, why is he such a non-traditional lead? And I'll be like, well, funny story. When I was 27, I got a psychiatrist for the first time, and being able to talk about that. Not the answer they were expecting, but I would love to get the question.
For sure.
Yeah, you know, now that you mention it, while you were talking about it, what was going through my mind was like, okay, so what is an okay question to ask? What is insensitive? What is it that I should, you know, educate myself about it and not trouble you with it?
I mean, as far as this, there's a lot of interesting resources to learn about ADHD, especially adult ADHD in women as well. There's a great newsletter that also most of her stuff is online. It's called Adulting with ADHD. There's a Twitter account called Black Girl Lost Keys, and it's about, because it manifests differently in women, which is why it's not diagnosed very often in us when we're young, because they expect the diagnostic criteria to be for young boys. And so they just they yeah, I mean their criteria was based on almost all young Caucasian males in the US.
Of course.
So like a very specific, so
they're the only ones that get it, you
girl in
guys.
the class would have also had it, but she manifested it differently, and they would just never caught it. Like he was given, you know, help, and she was told to pay attention. Like yeah, so that's right. So it messes you up a little bit. It sure does. But yeah, Adulting with ADHD is a great resource. I also just like the subreddit. The ADHD subreddit is very good. People share their stories there a lot. I spend a lot of time on there, mostly lurking. Just to know that like it's not weird, knowing that you're not the only one, and it's other people have very similar experiences. And I was like, oh wow, that I thought it was just me, and I was the worst person in the universe. But it's actually a very common experience and can be helped with medication. Like,
yeah,
it sounds so easy, but like it's kind of mind blowing.
Oh,
that's great. That's
what is
it's
like
so interesting. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just thinking about like the history of the, I don't know, just access and around us, just sort of, yeah. Like it's so weird to think that they only, I mean, it's not weird, but it's sort of like, oh, of course, they were only using one set of data from a specific demographic, and then using that to compare it as universal. And it's sort of that, like, I don't know, it's a sort of a prime example of like, I wonder if there's a example of a clinical medical thing happening because of
because of bias
white male
in
privilege.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's just an interesting, like, huh? Wow. Well, I guess it manifests in literal actual.
And I mean, it's changing a bit now. So I think there are just more adult women of color who have realized that they have ADHD and are like, wait a minute.
Excuse me,
you gotta go back and help them kids. Because we can't have more of us growing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fascinating topic, very fascinating topic.
Wow.
And that was yeah, it was interesting because I didn't expect to have that be in like my fun, cute romance, but it kind of gets in there somewhere. I mean, I was cramming everything I could in there. And it was, you know, it is a straight story. It is a straight boy and a straight girl who get together, but also it's like, you know what, if I'm gonna write a book and I get to do it, it's like you can fit so many queer teenagers in here if you just pop the lid open. You could, I didn't know what I wanted. It was amazing because I was like, oh, no one's gonna stop me. I got that feeling where it's like nobody.
There you go.
I could just do like super gay and no one's gonna get. And
great.
She's trans. She's trans. And the guy's gay too, and he's gay too. And I said it, and it counts. So like I just this constant like you can do it if it's your book. It's your book.
And when it's your book, you can make the kids. You can make them whatever you want. They can do it.
And no one's. I mean, I'm sure if somebody has like a worse editor, or you know, or in a less inviting situation than I was, having my wonderful editor Claire Stetzer, and the wonderful production company Assemble Media, who is backing me on this book. But yeah, if people trust you enough, you can just stick them in there, man. I got a trans Korean girl.
Yes.
I got a couple, a gay black dude. I got actually one guy's kind of a spoiler. And yeah, like my one character has 2 moms, and I'm like, I'm doing it. Gamers are gonna get so mad, and I'm doing it.
They're gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's like, deal with it. It's not for you.
This is real life.
I'm having a great time.
These people are real.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
That's true. I mean,
because
also, you know,
they already paid you the advance, and you already spent the money.
Yeah, that check has been spent. Thank you very much. But like I love the fact that it's it's an interracial romance. Also, today is Loving Day, so I feel like that's an important thing to highlight and bring out, because I think it's still so strange that it's like, what do you mean it's an interracial romance? Like, I mean, not that that's the case, but it's still like a thing where it's like, yeah, they just happen to be from different backgrounds.
Yeah,
America.
I saw people tagging me in their like Instagram reviews of the book, because there are like bookstagrammers out there. Which is like very cool. I didn't know that before.
Bookstagram.
And someone in their review, which was very, very nice. And I try not to read all of them because I'm not supposed to read reviews, and I frankly don't want to.
Oh, girl.
But they tagged me, like, hey, sure. And she had a great review, and she said, and I think it's really wonderful that this is an interracial romance. And I kind of forget sometimes that that's weird, because like my parents don't match. And like, so like your formative idea of what a relationship looks like is your parents. And for me, my dad is a 6'6" Black man. My mom is a 5'5" Puerto Rican woman. And that was just like what parents are, that's what love is like when you're growing up. So it always, even though I know like why people have like that reaction, even to this day, like it always felt like a very weird thing where it's like, I feel like I'm from a different universe, like Mandela effect. Because it always weirds me out that it's weird for some people, or like worth commenting on. So I mean, in this book, the lead girl character is a Puerto Rican girl, and the lead boy character, like I said, is a white kid. But that just it wasn't really a question. It was like, that's just how it just be like that sometimes.
It do though. Also, like I feel like most of like a lot of I feel like a large number of my friends, in the sort of breadth of diversity that I encompass, like it's very rare to find, like I just feel like a lot of friends, like they're in relationships and interpersonal relationships specifically, like, are way more diverse than I think often gets shown to us in like the reality of my situation of like my friend, like my personal friend group. I'm like, like there's like a couple of white kids that are together, but then it's all like everyone else is just like hot, it's a much higher percentage of mixed, as opposed to like, yes, everyone here is everyone has partnered amongst their own races, and they've all paired off in a Pleasantville kind of like
so strange. It's
the
like
white
if you see
family.
two people of the same
The
color
white
in a
family.
movie, you're like, they're gonna date, and because that's how Hollywood magnets work.
Yeah.
And you're like, it doesn't always have to be that way. It can be, like, it absolutely can be, but like,
Sure.
like you said, I feel like in my life as well, the reality of the lived experience is not reflected because the people who are making a lot of the content that we see love and relationships reflected in don't live in very diverse circles. And I'm like, for them, it might be, a bit interesting. Oh, like you're dating a Korean guy? Wow. Like, as opposed to, all my friends have dated at least one Korean guy.
I mean, it's true though. Like, oh, dang. But yeah. Anyways,
I have the same experience.
Yeah, it's such a, and it's so weird to be like, it's refreshing, but it's like, no, it like doesn't get explicitly done often, I feel like, and that's the thing where
really, really explicit about it too.
I am being
very, very sure
the same.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to make it very sure that if this ever gets adapted, because it was based on a concept by a production company, so there is like a faraway intention to adapt. Yeah. And I had that. I mean, it might not happen. Just like the rights are already worked out if they do want to. And when I had that in mind the whole time, where I was like, I want to make it really hard for a casting director to mess this up.
Yeah.
To the point where there can't be, oh, well, they didn't really mention that this character is like this. And I'm like, no. I was like, her name is Kiki. She is trans. She is blonde. Her last name is Kim. There's no way to fuck this up, guys. We are describing everyone in explicit detail to make sure that if anyone else gets cast as that character, someone's gonna riot, and you got it wrong. A lot of it's just, vague, gray areas. Oh, you never really mentioned, you never really said anything about it. Like, no. They're not gonna let you get away with it.
About how this person is, yeah.
Yeah, not my book.
Yeah, that's great.
I got a question, but I don't know what it means really, so maybe you'll know. Do you have character playlists? And if so, what are the main genres? What is the character
Interesting.
playlist?
Okay. I was writing about making a character playlist. A lot of authors will do playlists of songs of characters and put them on Spotify, usually on launch day, to be like, this is the character's vibe, mood, their playlist. I don't have a character playlist. I do have in the works a book playlist where each song is one character. The reason for that is I've gotten in a real rut with music for the past year, and I haven't really heard that much new stuff. And I've really just been listening to a lot of My Chemical Romance again for like the millionth time in my adulthood. And so I'm like, I don't have enough material to make like fun, new, fresh ones for every character, but everyone, as far as I'm concerned, has a theme song. And there's one song that is the theme song for the whole book. I'm like, that'll be at the top of it, and then everything else can just go on from there. It's Better Days by 11120. I guess that's the name of the band. Just look that up.
Yeah, thank you.
Better Days.
That question.
No, that's not it. What's the name of it? Better Days song lyrics. No, not the Drake song. Damn it.
Well, we're getting
it's
the
one
exact
of those
songs.
names where like parts of its numbers and parts of its letters.
Oh.
And I'm like, I never know. If anyone in chat can Google this faster than me, I'll race you. I'll race it right now.
Racing.
Better Days by a band that has numbers in it. Lyrics are, "This is great, we could be having better days." No, not One Republic. I'm not that. Okay, no.
Thanks. 11120. Right?
120. Did I get it right the first time?
I think you did. I think it is 11120.
I got it right the first time. Better Days by 11120 is like,
yes.
When it comes out, I'm like, it's the book.
That's my book.
as a preview. I think I will put a playlist out probably on launch day. I should work on that this weekend.
Yeah.
But as far as full character playlist, I'm legit just not cool enough to know enough cool music to put on full character playlist, and that's my final answer.
Just curious, are there any? I see that there's some writers. Let me know if you're a writer in the chat.
Yeah, we got.
And I'd like
to.
to.
Who are the writers in the chat? Writers in the chat, show yourselves.
And I'd like to ask you a basic question about writing. Because I used to write sometimes. I like write plays and stuff. I just can't sit and write. Do you have any advice on just like sitting
and doing the thing?
Doing the thing. I mean, that's a lot of stuff in life, but
I recommend 10 milligrams of methylphenidate at 3 different times a day.
Oh.
To really get that started for you.
Is that the ADHD
medication?
That's my ADHD medication.
I wonder.
But besides that, before I had that, I would write on something that I could kind of like bounce around on. I don't know if that makes sense. Like you see me, like I'm kind of in my chair right now.
Yeah.
Because I need to feel movement, because just kind of sitting and focusing is not really what my body does very, very well. So like most of the book I wrote like slumped in a corner of my couch, and my back is absolutely paying for it right now. But just like traditionally sitting down in a desk in a chair by myself has never worked for me. And it doesn't work for people. So it's kind of that most people are expected to work that way. But yeah, like finding your weird position, upside down, leg on the couch in a way that like makes your body feel like it's not 100% stuck in a chair, kind of tricks your brain into being like, all right, like we're not totally bored, but mostly the amphetamines. Yeah, I have no workaround for neurotypical people as far as that. Yeah. I have no idea what it's like to be in a brain where I don't need that. Exactly. So I'm not the person to ask for advice on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we have a lot of writers in the.
We got writers.
Look at you guys. Oh, writing sprints. That's a good idea. Oh, having a friend. That's the other thing. Dice. Who is this? Lucario. Lucario S8. So my best friend and I do writing sprints together. Writing with someone is motivating. That is very true. Even if they're not in the room, it's a tactic called body doubling, where you get a lot more done if there is the presence of another person, even if they're not in the room. Where it's like, it's not like you're being watched, so you feel like you're monitored, but it's more like, I'm not floating in space by myself. There is somebody else here who is doing the same thing I am. I've written with people where we're both on video chat and just not talked.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it works psychologically, but body doubling is a very big thing for ADHD in general, but also for writers. Writers are very big on body doubling. So that might help you out too, buddy.
Okay.
That's yes, Willa. Yes. Hi, Willa. Oh, hi, Willa. Yeah. So anybody to like clean. Like, I will FaceTime somebody and be like, okay, I'm going to clean my kitchen. Just sit.
Yeah.
And my friends know, they're just like, all right, I need a bite of. I'll just, keep doing what I'm doing. And I will have left that kitchen dirty for a week. And the second I talk to someone,
I
clean the whole house.
It's got to be done.
Yeah. It just gets done.
Someone else is here. Like, it's just that like someone else is here, but they're not here.
Yeah.
But, just the mere presence of knowing that they're there with you in some planar capacity. You're just
I don't know if it's like affirming existence in some way. It's probably something very existential. But that's very helpful for writing. So thank you for bringing that up, Lucario, because I would have forgotten to tell Dice that, but that is very helpful.
That just sounds helpful. I feel now I'm just like, okay, great. You guys are here. Let's go do something. What we got? I'll be a body double.
I gotta
also, because for us, body doubling is such a different thing.
Yeah, for acting is something very different. Actress is not what that means. But yeah, it's like a term, but it is great.
Should we do a giveaway? We do a giveaway. So yeah, we were talking, and you have some copies, and I would like to buy. And I guess and sign it, and I guess you can send it to me first. I can tell you my address, and then
that's how many books we
I
get.
will
I'm not
send
kidding.
it.
We got bookles. We got giveaway bookles. Book diddy dook. Oh my god.
Because did you get
I
you
have
get those
so
for
many.
free?
Please. Yeah,
That's
They
I
nice.
just
know they
they just
did
send them
right.
to you.
don't use any of them. I know that like authors probably like, oh yeah, there's the book shipment. I now have a task that makes sense that I have to do with them. But I'm just like, books? I guess. Nobody told me why they're here. I just have them.
Willa suggested to build a fort, and I think that
Build
is
a
I think that is
fort.
I
an
should
exact
absolutely
that is an
book
absolute brilliant
I
idea.
probably have enough for like that's called book board. But
Small-
yeah,
just a little book nook, if you will.
If you want
but yeah, we
to,
could do a giveaway.
if you want to win a copy, just chat right now.
Yeah.
Go in the
And
chat.
they'll be autographed as well.
They'll be autographed by the author.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Also, I used to autograph
yeah.
books. It was pretty cool.
I'll do it for 1
Yeah.
minute. I guess.
Oh, all right. All right. We're doing a
we're
book
doing smart.
giveaway. We're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. We're doing the book giveaway. Write something in chat if you
Write
want a
something
free
in chat.
copy of Don't Hate the Player, autographed by the one and only Alexis Nedd, one of our OG ghosties.
That's right.
I just realized I was logged in on Twitch on my phone. I didn't realize that, and I was like, I can be in chat. I didn't know that I could be in chat.
Of course, you could be in chat.
Yeah.
I forgot
Sometime.
to in.
Look at us. We're here. All right, lurkers, come out.
Should do like a Jeopardy
Type in
song.
the chat. We're giving away books. Oh man. I'm not gonna.
Really DMCA.
All I want to do is put. Oh, Dice, are you typing in chat? Oh, we're not supposed to.
Chat.
I don't think
I
I'm.
wanna-
No, I'm not.
Earl.
I'm not entered in
I
that.
created 2 monsters.
I don't see my name on the
Who
thing. I'm
wants
just
to be
encouraging. I'm encouraging
I just
them.
I want multiple copies. I want one for every place that I can put a book, just in a bookshelf on the table near the dresser, just like one so that people who enter my apartment cannot go 10 feet without seeing a copy.
Like, where's Waldo?
Yes.
How many do you have? It's a very chic color. Very trendy book color.
It's probably one of my
I love that
favorite
color.
colors.
Yeah.
That color is one of my most all of my ghosty shirts are that color because I love me a teal.
Like, almost all my kitchen stuff used to be teal, and then I lived with someone and they like just wrecked all of it, just like chipped it all up. So that new one, and it didn't have the teal stuff. I do still have, you can't see it from here, but I do have a giant teal Dutch oven. That's the last.
Oh, a giant teal Dutch oven is a thing that I dream about owning at some point.
It's beautiful.
Because is it one of those like Crusade ones? Like, is it a bright teal?
No, not the really fancy ones, but it's
still
in the same shape,
mm-hmm.
I guess, same function.
I just love,
but not the name brand.
One of those, just the color. I just love like opening the oven and being like, look, it's almost like it's glowing.
Oh, beautiful and delicious.
Okay, I'm going to roll it now.
Oh, rolling it. We're rolling. Who's gonna win?
Here we go. Who's gonna win? Here we go. Passion Fairy 55.
Passion Fairy, Mary! Oh, dang!
Yay!
Mary! Very good at one. Hooray!
Yeah, so
Passion Fairy,
you know what?
Passion Fairy is another one of the OGs.
Right now, live.
Are you on
We
Discord?
got more
Passion Fairy
OGs.
is-
I'm pretty sure Mary's on Discord.
Yeah, go to Discord and send a mod mail to us.
Or just text.
You could do a whisper on a Twitch or just get in contact with us. Shoot
Whatever
us
is
a mod.
easiest for you, Mary.
Yes. Oh, are you signing it? So,
Yep.
is this
Live
Passion Fairy.
autograph.
autograph session?
5. And I never know what to write besides that. I'm still getting to this. Do you have any requests?
Any
Any
requests,
requests
Passion
of what I
Fairy?
write that won't get me canceled or illegal?
Yes.
Something just
Passion Fairy 55.
particular phrase you like?
Do you want
For Cedar Temple.
for Cedar Temple? Did you want anything?
Oh, go Ghosties!
OG
OG
Ghosties
Ghosties
unite.
unite!
What you guys see that? Here we go. Yeah, I see that.
That's lovely.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Aww.
And one of the teams in here is actually Team Unity, so it makes sense.
Yes. Oh man, pro gaming teams. What an intense world.
That is very intense. I learned a lot in the passion.
Yeah.
All right, passion 5. This is coming to you. Oh, is it backwards in Twitch? Or is it right
no,
in
it's
Twitch?
right side. It's right side.
Oh, okay. It's backwards. It's backwards.
Oh, is it backward? Did it backward?
This is for you. Is it backwards? Yeah, it's backwards. But it won't be because it'll be real when you have it. Passion.
It's right ways. Right.
Unless you live in the mirror realm.
The mirror realm.
Mirror world. I'm gonna put this separate from the other literal dozens of books so I don't lose the one that I signed for you. I'm gonna put this far away from his desk. We'll be right back.
Oh my god, I love it. It's just like someone randomly gets the passion. Who's passion for 55? What is it? Like it gets slipped into a whole box.
that was a disaster waiting to happen.
That would have been amazing. That would be the one artifact.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like give that to someone else and they'd be like, "Hey, Alexis, what's a passion fairy?" Oh crap! I gave that too.
Oh man, that's a story. Well,
that's really fun.
We did a giveaway. You did a live signing. It's like we're doing literature con.
LitCon.
LitCon. I mean, there are LitCons,
right? Those actually exist. Although I will have a chance to plug now because you guys will actually you guys are the right audience for this. I will be in San Diego Comic-Con this year with a panel coming out later this month for Bloomsbury's. It's called I should get this right. Get this right. I said it with such confidence and then realized I don't remember.
There's a specific title.
Yeah.
When is
Comic-Con happening?
A couple of weeks. End of June.
End of June.
Okay, here we go. Coming home.
July 23rd and to 25th.
Oh, is it after that?
Oh.
Okay. I don't actually know when this is going to be, but it'll be. Oh wait, and maybe the other email. I have so many freaking. That's the other thing they don't tell you about writing books is that you end up with so many emails. There's a heinous amount of emails. And you never know if it's good news or bad news. All right, I can't find out what day this is going to be because we already filmed it, actually. It is in the can. Okay. But the panel will be called Flip It and Reverse It, YA Authors Reimagine Genre.
Okay.
So I will be in the YA author San Diego Comic-Con panel. Very excited about
YA
that.
Authors. It has a Missy-inspired title. What more do you want? It's
right. Yeah,
I love it.
Comic-Con at Home 2021. Hopefully next year we'll be able to do it in person, but I get to be in San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Yay! That's amazing.
One of the final questions. What are you excited about as far as like what you're watching or playing or coming up?
What's exciting you lately?
What's exciting me right now? I don't know why I did that voice. Earl, you're a terrible influence on me.
I do. I get
real weird.
It happens. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah,
that's better than mine.
We really do have to get drunk sometime to bring that bit back. My God. What am I excited about? I was just talking to Earl before we got on here, or maybe you guys caught the end of that conversation about Warrior on HBO Max. Tremendous show. Is based on a treatment that Bruce Lee wrote and couldn't get made in his lifetime, but his daughter could have picked up the torch.
Because racism.
Predominantly Asian cast, period drama. There's just absolute tons of amazing stunt choreography, fights, knives. It's kind of like Gangs of New York meets Game of Thrones meets a bunch of super hot Asian people.
Oh God, yeah, and it's funny, and it's like
it's funny. It's modern.
Yeah, it's very
wonderful show. There are 2 seasons currently on HBO Max, and HBO Max picked it up for a 3rd season, and that will be made later because they have to rebuild all their sets and hire back all their actors because the show was canceled before HBO picked it up.
Yeah, but also also this means that. I was telling Alexis that I have auditioned for that show so many times, that maybe this means that
Yes,
maybe
we have
this
to make
time.
sure it has enough
Maybe
seasons
this
for Earl to finally get there.
time. Maybe this time I'll
Earl too,
win.
Dice too. Listen, the lead guy, it might be about Chinese gangs, but the lead actor is Japanese. So
It's
you
true.
know what?
Andrew Koji.
Really?
Call your agent, Dice. You never know.
We gotta call our agents.
Honestly, you two together would be an amazing Easter egg as far as like all Asian projects.
I'll be a criminal. We'll be underworld criminals, but you could make us a good pair. We will be henchmen. I don't care. Like, I mean, I don't know about Dice. Dice probably doesn't want to be henchmen, but I'll be henchmen.
I'll be okay. I want like a C-3PO R2-D2 kind of relationship. You know what was originally
which
Kurosawa.
Which one's R2-D2?
I don't know.
Between the two of you,
I think it's more him, but I feel like we're both kind of R2-D2 at certain points.
It's really hard to tell. Chat, who do you think is the R2-D2 and who's the C-3PO?
But those characters were inspired by Kurosawa film characters, which I can't remember what those were. But you know, the comedic duo. Yeah, I think
adorable.
Oh yeah, R2-D2 versus BB-8.
BB-8.
Fight.
Is that a question for Alexis? I mean, I'll go with R2-D2.
I think the thing about BB-8 is that he's really easy to just like kick.
Yeah.
Like if you kick R2-D2, you're breaking your foot. If you kick BB-8, you just scored a goal.
That's a great quote right there.
That is so true. It's not wrong because
actually, you know what? I might write that down for book 2.
I think you need to write that down. I think you need to write that down. I think that is because you're not. I mean, it's so like, you know, seriously, like you kick R2-D2, it's gonna be a bad time.
Yeah.
Like, no one. It's like kicking a trash can. Yeah. Like, it's not going to do anyone any good. Yeah. But you kick BB-8. Go!
Yeah, but that seems like a pretty ezy fight to me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You heard it here first.
I haven't played that many games recently because I haven't been assigned much. All the stuff that I would have written about this year got pushed to next year, so I'm just chilling.
But
looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that one.
For sure. Yeah. It's very hype.
Yeah. I saw a little bit more of Stray, and I'm still very excited about that. Although
the kitty game.
The kitty game.
I actually don't know if it's a good streaming game because I don't know how that cat fights. I don't think he fights. He's just.
I don't think there's any combat.
Yeah, he's just.
It doesn't seem like.
But you could just be Kitty on stream.
We could just be.
Didn't you play the Fox game?
I did.
Spiritfarer. It's pretty similar. You didn't really. There's not. I mean, there's kind of combat though. Like there is combat in a way.
I don't think I ended up watching there was combat. I just remember wandering around and being like, I want to pet
it. Yeah. Or Spirit of the North. That was what I meant. Yeah.
And I mean, it's E3 weekend, so there's probably stuff coming out right now in trailers that I'm going to be hyped about that I didn't even know.
It's true.
Moonglow Bay looks really good. I've seen that trailer a couple of times.
Oh,
a game stream today. Moonglow Bay. It's like a fishing and town building and relationship building game. Yeah. I love fishing mini games.
Oh man! Except for the Sonic, the Sonic here. Is it the Sonic Adventure DX fishing game that is the most impossible? I
didn't play that one.
Well, it's old. It's old and bad, and it's Sega having given up on the Sonic franchise at the point, just being like, make them fish for the rings. Yeah, that's what they need to do, right? That's how they need the rings.
That's what Sonic, the legendary fast hedgehog, needs to do. Is a very sedentary hobby.
Yeah, and it's with Big the cat, who's like a total like sub character of a side. It's that whole like, oh God, Sega, what happened to you?
They got tired. They gave up.
They gave up. So except that fishing game, all the other fishing games.
They're mostly good. Yeah. What are you guys playing right now? I haven't actually tuned into what you guys are actually doing.
I'm playing Red Dead 2 and Little Nightmares 2.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah.
I just finished the first chapter of Tell Me Why, because it's free right now, because it's Pride. So
Wow.
yeah, so I played the first thing that, and then I just started Intergrade, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Ooh, yeah.
I actually put up a poll yesterday because there was so much that happened in this week where Ratchet and Clank came out, Intergrade came out, and then the Elden Ring announcement just got me so hyped that I was like, I'll just be a Souls game, any Souls game you want. So I just threw out a bunch of possibilities, but everyone chose Intergrade, or Intergrade won by like 2 votes, and Ratchet and Clank was the other one. Yeah.
I just want to watch somebody fight that house again.
Oh my gosh, that house. Oh god, that house is beastly. Dice, you know that house.
Oh yeah, that house.
The Final Fantasy house.
We were all there for
we were all there for that house, that demon house. It's terrible. But yeah, Intergrade's cool. I feel like one of the things that gets exposed when I play games like Final Fantasy games, for me, I don't know if I'm, because like I will like scour every square inch of a Final Fantasy game, just like, I know I've gone into that room, but is that open yet? Oh, like it hits me in like all of my weird game playing neuroses.
Hyperfixation. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like maybe we saw the gameplay and we got to watch some of the things yesterday. So maybe I'll stop playing it on stream and just get really. Because sometimes I'm just like, oh, this is probably really boring for everyone else. Earl, it's okay. You don't have to get every single chest. And I'm like, but I need all the chests before I go to the next section.
All the chests. What should I play? I have like 2 weeks before I probably have to get edits back on my other book, and I really want to play a video game for the first time in a while. The last one I did was Pokemon Snap, which I reviewed. And again, I had 72 hours to beat Pokemon Snap, which you can't even really beat Pokemon Snap.
No, that's not a game that has a beat. You don't beat it. Like, it's not one of those, like, it's like,
very fun and cute though. But yeah, like I want something like action adventure. It's not like super long. I was just gonna try to maybe
that's like telling someone you beat The Sims. It's like you beat The Sims.
Yeah, like, you beat The Sims. You won. You know, I did once lose The Sims. I didn't know it was possible, but you can lose The Sims. Fun fact.
I mean, well, when they're all dead.
Yeah, if everyone on your lot dies, you get a message that says, like, we don't know how you did it, but you managed to lose The Sims. And it's a really cool message.
I love it.
Like, you only get it once, and you're like, they coded that just to mess with me.
They're all dead. You killed all of them.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
This deserves its own achievement.
Nobody dies in Pokemon Snap.
It's true.
Actually, no. There's some circle of life stuff in Pokemon. You witness how the Pokemon are carnivores.
Yeah.
You know.
They eat each other?
Wow, they do.
Oh, okay.
Not like all the time. There's not like constant Pokemon carnage. That'd be a really fun like booster pack to it though.
Although, like, if you think about it, like, they don't know what's happening in the wild. Like, I'm sure there is Pokemon carnage happening. I'm sure there is a lot of
constantly
wild savagery happening in that world where you're just like, oh, but they're so cute. Oh my god.
Like, the cutest little dinosaur in the whole game walks around wearing his own mom's skull. Like, this.
I know.
Pokemon are metal.
Oh,
we think they're cute. No, Pokemon are elemental beasts of magic, and they're metal as hell.
I know. Oh god. Pokemon get me, like, I don't know what it is. I go the full circle.
To play something else, something story based, something not too gunny. I don't like shoot stuff.
Yeah, I Returnal is great, but it's the gunniness.
Very
sometimes I get really my brain just goes, okay, gunny good, but then I have to just not gun.
Yeah, that's a not gun.
I just have to not
gun. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Willa. Drampa is an arsonist Pokemon. It's true. A revenge arsonist.
What? Wait, revenge arsonist. Was Drampa arsoned? And now Drampa commits arsons?
If you make friends with a Drampa and somebody messes with you, the Drampa will burn their house down.
Oh god.
Not a joke.
All right. So, like, Drabba is a gangster Pokemon.
Yes.
It is a
Drabba
underworld.
is the original fire department in the city of Philadelphia where they extorted people. Where they went up to your house or like, shame about the fire. What fire?
What? Oh. Oh. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Just play
Good
Horizon
to
Zero Dawn
know.
again.
Oh man, I've been thinking about having, like, I feel like I need to replay it in order to be ready for when Forbidden West comes out. Not that I don't remember it, and not that I don't know what happens, but I'm just like,
I do have the I never finished the DLC.
oh,
The Horizon DLC. It was really hard. I got mad because I was like, all of a sudden you fire, and I just beat the game, and now I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, it does definitely ratchet up the difficulty pretty high, and I feel like it makes all the hunting grounds. You're just like, what? Okay, like I feel like in the original game, like the progression of like, oh, okay, the gold and the silver and the bronze and the gold. It's like, oh, it's a natural progression, and then the one in, I feel like the DLC, you're just like, oh, now we're just gonna make it like, stupid hard. Okay.
Yeah. Beastly level, terrifying.
Yeah. It was fun though.
So maybe I'll give the Frozen Wilds another swing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll just play Breath of the Wild again for the fourth time since quarantine started.
I mean, Breath of the Wild is sort of one of those things where I think you can always go back to.
Just spend some time in Hyrule, rescuing Zelda,
climbing whatever.
I do have a new goal. I'm trying to fill the Hyrule Compendium in my most recent playthrough. That's my new goal.
You're getting all the things.
All the things. That's how hyper fixated I get on stuff. Where it's like, every bird in Breath of the Wild needs to be in the Hyrule Compendium. Like even like the tiny ones that look like they just fly when you get close. And they're different in every region. You have to photograph every one. There's desert sparrows, blue sparrows. Like it just looks like an effect in the background.
Yeah.
Link's a bird watcher now. And even the eagles that soar around in the desert, different kinds of eagles. Gotta photograph all the eagles. I'm like, this is a different game. And I actually like this game that I'm playing right now.
This is like, organization of the species, like taxonomy, family.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, it's Pokemon Zelda or Zelda Snap.
Yeah, Red Dead is kind of like that too, where it's like you kind of have to become a bird watcher if you want to 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that is freaking gorgeous.
Yeah. There's so much
detail in Red Dead.
Yeah, Red Dead 2, I definitely like. I finished the plot and I was like, all right, we're done. I'll stay here forever if you keep having me. I just can't. Like,
yeah.
I had to step away because I was like, but I need to do everything. There's so many things to do.
You'll be there forever.
Yeah.
How far are you in, Dice? Are you fully immersed in the universe and we'll never see you?
Did you just get to chapter 6?
I just got to chapter 6. So a little bit.
I never finished it. I gave my copy away because I could not get into it. It was just it was instantly overwhelming. Like once the map opened up, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't make a choice. I'm paralyzed.
Earl has feelings, and I'm sure we'll talk about it after I finish, because I am gonna finish it.
I have full faith.
I both love and hate the game so much. I feel like, but also you are now in chapter 6 is sort of you're in that tunnel.
Yeah. I can't
you're
get
in
out
that
of it
final
now.
you're in that final here comes the end.
He's in the end game now.
Yeah. You've made it to the end game. Congratulations.
Well, cool. I might tune into to find out how it ends because I don't know how it ends because I've never got that far enough into it. So I'll just keep lying and see when you're finished.
Did you play Red Dead 1? Because you do know how it ends. Oh.
Yeah, I haven't either. I know I have to. Not have to, but
I know that 2 was kind of a prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop talking then, because my main thing, I think it's also because I played the first one and loved the first one quite a bit, where like it's that thing where like no matter how for me Red Dead 2, I started off going, well, we know how this ends. Just because Red Dead 1 is after that.
Yeah, all been settled. I know it happens to at least that guy.
Yeah, so it's like I know one of you doesn't die. I don't know what happens to the rest of you. Let's find out. And
There
you're
lies
like,
the mystery.
oh.
What are you guys looking forward to most from E3? That we either do or don't have confirmation that's even going to be there.
Oh.
I
Breath of the Wild 2.
I wish,
happening?
man. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I don't know if
Everything crossed. Like I
I got stuff crossed you want to know about. I need
doubting.
it.
I'm absolutely doubting that it will, but I
Yeah.
was absolutely doubting we'd see anything about Elden Ring. So I'm on a wrong streak. So I'm happy to keep being wrong.
Yeah. There was another one that I was. Oh, I mean, I'm still waiting on them to at least announce Bugs Next too.
Bugs Next 2.
I haven't finished that.
It ended on a cliffhanger.
It does end on a cliffhanger. And
you finished it?
I got through most of the plot.
It's messed up, man.
It's wild. Like it takes you on a weird.
Yeah,
like,
Bugs Next is a horror game, and they don't tell you that until like 3/4 of the way through the game.
This is not what I was expecting this game to do.
I mean, the whole concept is pretty horror to me in the first place.
Yeah, like looking back, the signs were there.
It's definitely there.
That this is body horror.
Yeah,
and
you're transforming bodies into like meat, but different meat.
Various
and
different
vegetables
meats.
And fruits and desserts, and you're like, oh yeah. What I like about Bugs is because it's a video game, you go in there just accepting it, and you're like, this is kind of weird, but like it's a game. These are the mechanics. It's fine. And then once you finish it, you go back and you're like, no, that was really weird.
This
like
is still really weird.
It's very important to listen to your instincts and say the premise of this game is extremely strange, and listen to yourself.
Yeah, because also I feel like the one thing that I constantly, even in my first playthrough, I was like, everyone is just totally fine with eating these things that actively transform their own bodies into edible material. What about this is okay?
Yeah, and Tsuji can't stop.
Yes, people are addicted.
Wants to be all bug
snacks. Like there's addiction.
We sound insane discussing this game. Don't get me started on Chandlo.
Oh,
Luffy.
Chandlo.
Sorry, chat.
Wait, so do you?
Yeah,
so
you are what you need. Gone wild.
I mean,
I do recommend it as like a weird artistic experience.
Yeah, it's a weird ride.
Yeah, it's the way that I would like recommend the new Bo Burnham special, where it's like yes, but you're gonna be really worried at the end of it. Like you're gonna need to sit down and maybe like talk to someone after.
My thing with Inside is like I can immediately identify. I'd be like, oh, literally all of my friends, all of my beautiful creative friends, had the idea of making Inside and selling it to Netflix for millions of dollars. But Bo Burnham, you actually did it. Good job.
Yeah, you did it. Daddy made you some content.
You did it.
Open wide.
Oh, but yeah, it's a bit. It's a lot.
What do you watch, Dice?
I did watch that. I wanted to talk to you. Well, I didn't really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I loved Inside. Did chat watch Inside, or are we just gonna?
Y'all watch Inside?
Retrospective did. Oh
yay! Someone watched it.
Here comes the content.
Yeah, that song about the internet, and the chorus is apathy is a tragedy and boredom is a crime. That's kind of what why I wanted to ask you about, about entertainment and
I mean that one hit a bit hard for me because I've been very, very online and constantly exposed to content.
I mean, all of us have. I think it's just been circumstances of our current world.
I do think it's a beautiful piece. Watching it more than once is kind of fun because, like, the first time you're like, "Holy crap, is this guy okay?" Like, "Oh my god!" Like,
has anyone checked on Bo?
Bo Burnham.
Has anyone checked on him?
Yeah. Everyone. But the second time, you're like, "Okay, wait a minute. This is really a guest house. Like, he was not actually in the room the entire time. He lives with his partner." And you're like, there's this heavy level of artifice that you don't know until the second time, and you're like, okay, now I can watch. How much is the I mean, it's all a performance, but how much is like intentional performance of pain, how much is like an interpretation of pain, how much is just messing with us, and that's when it gets really interesting.
Now
because
I'm not.
you can't. He's really good at setting that line.
Yeah.
But it's like, but also he's also probably super not fucking okay, like at all.
Yeah, but it's also that thing of like the first time you're like, am I worried about this person? I think I'm worried about this person. And then it's like, oh, I don't have to be as worried about this person. But what does that say about me, about worrying about people? You know, like it just sort of becomes this like meta opening onion blossom moment where you're like,
he wants you to think about yourself, your complicity in being the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also the one who made an hour-and-a-half long special in quarantine about how much he doesn't want people to watch it. You still like,
sure, Bo. Sure.
Yeah, come on, Bo.
Sure, Bo.
But that's like the fundamental tension of his career. Is like he's like, if you can live without an audience, I highly recommend it, but I can't. And he's terrified of the audience. He does not like performing for an audience. He does not feel real unless he is performing for an audience. So he's just trapped. He's trapped himself like a little butterfly between glass, and then just can't stop cranking out good stuff, and then hates us for watching it. Yeah, but also like boo-hoo. Like the song is right. Like we're Jeff and white people. Like it's gonna be fine.
You'll be fine, sweetie.
Yeah, you can wipe away your tears with $100 bills. It's gonna be okay.
Exactly.
But also, are you okay?
Are you all right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating. I find it strange that you watched it, guys.
Yeah.
That's like up your alley.
What?
Was it up your?
No, it is. Yeah.
Into
I really enjoy Bo Burnham's stuff, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'd never heard of him. I mean, I'd heard of him. I'd never seen anything he's done before.
Oh, really?
This is my introduction to Bo Burnham, which is probably what I was.
It's pretty much that. Like it's all, you know. And then self-deprecating, weird, introspective songs that make you worry. Yeah, so, that's kind of his thing. It's his thing. Yeah.
Inside, but like written by a 25-year-old, something that I don't necessarily want. So I'll like start with the 30 and move on from there. Like that, literally a single year younger would be intolerable to me. Just like, shut up, punk.
All right, we get it. You're 29.
Yeah.
He's. I mean, it's interesting because I think he's one of the first YouTube star that then he started touring and then he became a Netflix.
Yeah, it's like a shift out of
fully broke out
straight from
real
internet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which is nuts to think that like he is old enough to have been a famous 14-year-old on YouTube and is now a 30-year-old man producing introspective films for Netflix, and it's like, wow, like that really did happen in our lifetime, so pretty quick.
Yeah. Things are moving pretty fast since the internet.
Anything, everything, all the time.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. Well,
and here we are, and including this.
Right, here we are on the internet, talking to people that I played in a video game and then met on the internet. on the laptop that I typed up a book that I'm now talking about on the internet.
On the internet with the people that you met on the internet.
with people that met on the internet. Who still owe me dinner because I tricked him through the internet.
Wait, do I wait? Does somebody owe dinner?
Earl owes me dinner.
Good. I was like, do that? Is it me?
I was just like, as long as it's not me. No. I would never.
It's me.
But yeah, I mean, if you ever are on the West Coast and if we're ever in the East Coast,
I know I got real excited when you were like, "Oh, you're gonna be at Comic-Con," and I was like, "What? What?
But
no, internet.
Virtual. Also, being San Diego, way too far. I'm watching people talk about Bo Burnham. Yeah, you guys are right. But yeah, no, heck. I mean, weren't you supposed to be up here, Dice? Did that project did you do something else with that?
Oh, I guess wait, did it? Not since the. Yeah, no, that was Invasion, but that was before the pandemic.
Yeah, because that was the.
Say what? Oh, you cut off a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Did that end up shooting in the UK? Where was okay to shoot in COVID?
A little bit in UK and then a little bit in Japan, and then.
Oh, that's why you were in Japan.
Yeah, this one day of work. Yeah.
One day of work.
But
One
it
day
was-
of work.
But it was shooting in New York, so maybe if there is a second season, if it's successful enough, then
Apple TV likes renewing stuff, and so far,
Oh, really?
because they just have all of the money, and they really want an Emmy, and they'll just keep renewing stuff until they get it. Besides Ted Lasso,
Oh God.
Oh, Ted
Ted Lasso's
Lasso.
I love
incredible.
that show
Mythic
so
Quest also very good as far as a video game show. Mythic Quest is tremendous.
Oh yeah.
Really love it.
I'll have to watch it.
It's a workplace comedy about making a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Very heavily and clearly sponsored by Ubisoft.
Yeah.
But it's very, very funny and very touching, and everyone's horrible in it, but it's actually very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for talking.
Thank you
to
for
us.
having me.
Thank you
Yeah,
It's fun to
Alexis,
get
thanks for
you
coming
popping up in my
on.
Twitter DMs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, last year Alexis would have found this very funny for different reasons.
Cool.
Good
Yeah,
old DM slide.
so the book is coming out Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday, June 15th.
and you can buy it anywhere, really, right?
Where
Yeah,
books are
Where
sold.
books
The
are
most place, but
sold.
not Target. I didn't get Target, bastards.
Not Target?
No, Target's very
Weird.
selective about which books they sell.
Weird. Interesting.
They have a smaller selection, and I didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
so.
because I guess
Boycott
I would
Target
never
and buy my book.
I would never think to go to Target to get a book. So there's a thing.
Yeah, fair. It's not really the hardcore reader demographic. It's just
Yeah,
fun, and I don't just like
exactly.
that. But yeah, most books are sold. Barnes and Noble. You can also order from bookshops, support indie bookstores if you can. If not, it's okay. Just we're happy where you're reading. And yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
it's-
for being on.
And
Cheers.
thank you everybody in the chat and the
Yeah,
mods.
thanks, chat. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for
Yes,
your
guys,
awesome
thank you for excellent
questions.
questions.
Yeah,
if you
thank for
have
the
any further questions for me about maybe book stuff, you can find me on Twitter at Alexis the Ned, NEDD. I'm usually checking Twitter at some point. But yeah, let me know. I'm looking forward to sending that book in the other room to Passion Fairy 55.
Yes, and we'll
This is fun. It's always
talk
fun. You guys are so sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well,
Thanks.
I'm going to end the stream, so
Alrighty, bye everyone.
everybody.
Thanks for hanging
Bye,
out. We're still here.
hold on.
We've just left.
I'm gonna
It's time to tell them the secrets of the universe.
Oh, wait, wait, wait.
Goodbye.
I think I did it.